Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the live stream. Everyone cross your fingers. Everyone cross your fingers super hard. As I hope you can tell, I have a new camera. And it's a super duper mega camera. And I'm really hoping that it's all working. Because, Streamlabs is really struggling with it. But fingers crossed. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Is the audio and the visual in sync? Can you hear the music? Just fingers crossed, everybody. Just please let me know. Please, God. Please, I hate that. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Okay. Okay, thank God. Thank you. Okay. This is probably not gonna be the first technical issue that we have in the whole thing. This is gonna be, I'm doing my real best for you. The camera just arrived this afternoon, so I'm still playing with it. I don't know. Yeah, OBS switching tabs is so some people are saying that audio is out of sync and some people are saying it's in sync, but okay, yes, I can turn down the music. That's completely fine. Keep checking in. Well, anyway, welcome to the live stream. I hate this so much. It's so stressful. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you very much, Karina Freeman, for that super chat. You know me, live performance in a theater. Live performance is good. On camera, But okay, we're close enough. All right, we'll try, and then I'll keep playing around with stuff. Welcome to the live stream, and if it's your first time joining on the stream, then extra double special thank you to you for joining. Here are the rules. We like to have the chat be a nice place. We like to have chill times. We like to have colored lights. We like to talk about the last video that I made, and we also like to light a candle. Tonight's scented candle is in a teacup, and it's jasmine and vanilla. Oh, don't worry, everybody. When the play was filmed, when the prince was filmed, it was not filmed by me, so that's how you know it's good. Here we go. I hate streaming, man. Oh, well, I love streaming. I I just don't like having the tech set up. I need somebody to come around and do it for me, really. Oh, thank you. I did my makeup extra special tonight. Do you like my lashes? I'm getting good at eyeshadow too. I'm doing good at Yeah, thank you, everyone. Everyone keep posting about what your in particular audio situation is when there's nothing I can do about it. Keep posting about that in the chat. That's really helpful. Where did I get the candle? I got it from a little stall not far from here. But anyway, welcome everyone. We're going to talk about the last video that I made. It was called. What was it called again? It's called I emailed my doctor 133 times, the crisis in the British healthcare system. Thank you very much, Bonnie Bevan, for that super chat. Oh, and also for reminding me, if there are any super chats, then I will always try and say thank you for them. And also, if you're going to super chat me a question, try and keep it short so that I can have time to answer them. But yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the last video that I did. I'm going to try and show it to you now. I think that Streamlabs might freak out if I do this. Oh God, it's already doing it. Oh no. everyone hold on to something, okay? Hold on. Here we go. All right. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Just keep everything crossed. Oh God, it's already glitching out. This camera, I think this camera's too powerful for my computer. I think that's what's happening. But thank you, Ian Flynn. I will play around with the settings and so on, and if it gets too bad, I'll just switch back to the main camera and I'll just describe it to you. I think also on my preview, I'm glitching out and stuff. Oh God. Ah! I need somebody to come around and help me optimize this. Devon, next time you're in town. Or maybe I should just try OBS because StreamYard is freaking out. Okay. I think it's only when I try and put my camera over. So okay, maybe I try and do this. All right, let's try this. There you go. Now you can hear my voice and you can see the video, and I can show you the things I want to show you. So this was my last video. It was called "I emailed the doctor 133 times: the crisis in the British healthcare system," and I did all kinds of fun stuff about it. It was about the NHS. And the way that the NHS handles trans healthcare in particular, but also it was about the way that like systems generally work and the way big institutions generally work. Friends of the show, people who've seen the live stream many times, will know that I have 3 criteria that I judge my videos by, and I decide whether or not I'm happy with the video. And those 3 criteria are, I'm back now. This stream's gonna fly by the seat of our pants, okay? I'm back on the Starship Enterprise, even though we're giving it all she's got, Captain. Oh god, now it's glitching out on me as well. Oh god. If necessary, I'll just drink wine and just shit talk through the glitches, and I just won't save the stream, okay? Let's just all agree now. This stream might get a little messy because it's the first time with the new camera. But maybe if it gets too messy, I won't even save it. And you know what? I'm also gonna make an agreement with you right now, okay? I'm gonna make an agreement with you, the viewers, that even if this stream glitches out and it's not very good, I'm not gonna beat myself up about it like I normally do, because I always do that. I'm always just like, Abby, why can't you get your technical stuff sorted out? I need Finster or Devon to come around and do it for me. It's because my job is not to be behind the camera, my job is to be in front of the camera, which is very okay. So, let's all make an agreement that Abby's not gonna beat herself up over this. Speaking of which, I have 3 criteria for when I'm happy with a video. And the first of those is the video made from curiosity, not ambition? In this case, yes, I think it was. Because this was a topic I really cared about. This is something I really wanted to talk about. And also I was curious what I could learn about systems and the philosophy of complaint, like from Sarah Ahmed's book. And also when I read Stafford Beer, I was really, really curious about that too. I honestly thought this video wasn't going to go very well. I was like, okay, this one's a curiosity one. I'm not gonna try and do numbers. I'm not gonna try and do a big trending topic or anything. I'm gonna talk about something that I care about. I'm gonna try and do it really well. So I was actually very, very surprised that the video blew up. YouTube gives you like a countdown of how well a video has done based on your previous 10, and it immediately shot to number 1 and stayed there. I think it's had, I'm checking here, it's had 820,000 views in a week, which by my standards is pretty good. I know by kind of YouTube standards generally that's decent, but not fantastic. But by my standards, it's the best video I've done in ages. So I'm really, really happy about that. And like the responses to it are really positive, which we'll get into later. My second criteria is this video my unique creative vision? Yes, I think it definitely is. I don't think you'll be able to find anyone else who combines Joseph Heller's novel Catch-22 with the surrealist work of René Magritte, with like Stafford Beer, with Sarah Ahmed. It's a uniquely Philosophy Tube thing, I think. I hope you'll agree. It's very, very Philosophy Tube. And by the way, ask me about the René Magritte paintings later on, the guy with the apple. Ask me about them later. Because there's all kinds of like hidden details in this video too, which some people haven't spotted yet, so yeah. My third criteria is, was it made out of compassion for myself and others? And the answer is yes, I think it was. I really, really struggled with this one. I struggled to make it out of compassion to myself because it was a very difficult video to make. And also in particular, I struggled to make it out of compassion for others. I originally, like the first couple of drafts really were quite vitriolic and really were going in on NHS administrators. And I struggled, and I meant what I said in the video, that like I don't want to think that way about them. I want to try and find a systemic explanation to focus on systems, not people. So it was a struggle, but I did make it out of compassion for myself and others, and of that I am quite proud. So that's nice. Oh, let me turn the music down. Yeah, sorry, the music tracks, some of them are louder and some of them are quieter, so. Yeah, I've divided the feedback, we'll talk about the feedback to the video, into 3 sections. That's positive feedback, unacceptable criticism, and constructive criticism. So in terms of positive feedback to the video, there was a lot. In particular, something that I didn't really consider in the planning stages, or even, until it came out, was that I might get feedback from doctors. But I got so much positive feedback from doctors and medical students. I remember the morning after I posted the video, I woke up to an email from a medical student who said, "This is amazing," and I've shared it with my whole year, which was like really, really moving. I even got an email from a few doctors actually who work in gender identity clinics in Britain who were like, "We agree with you, and this is sick." So that was amazing. I was really, really pleased and touched by that. There were also a lot of people telling their stories about how the NHS has let them down, not just with trans healthcare, but with all sorts of stuff. And I will try and show you some of those comments now. Brace yourself. Okay, brace yourself. We're going to fucking warp 9 here. Everyone hold on to something. It's gonna do it, isn't it? It's gonna do it, and I'm gonna have to turn the camera off. But quickly, let me introduce you to this comment from a guy called Matt. Matt says that a lot of the institutional dynamics that I pointed out with the NHS, oh, here we go, glitching. Matt says a lot of the institutional dynamics that I pointed out with the NHS are also present in the benefits system, because he has tried to claim benefits in the past and has found that the system is similarly very difficult. One Sweet Peach said that it's quite like dealing with PayPal. God, yes, I know exactly what you mean. I had some trouble with PayPal a while ago, and to be honest, freaking hate those guys. So you know how under some of my older videos, it used to have, so you can sign up to the Patreon to make a regular donation to PhilosophyTube, or you can sign up to PayPal to make a one-time donation. You can't do the one-time donations anymore because PayPal just deleted my PayPal.me link. They just deleted it one day, and I was like, can I have this back? And they said, no, you can have a slightly different one. And I was like, but the other one's already written on all of my branding. Like, I'm not just, that's like, oh, sorry, Apple, we deleted your business account and now you have to change your company name to Appful. I was like, no, sorry, fix this. And they were like, nah, we're not going to fix it. So fuck PayPal. Fuck those guys. Hate them. Screw you. Thank you very much, Ekavu Pointy Horse, for that super chat. It says, I searched for the Prince on Nebula and I couldn't find it. That's because it's not out yet. People keep asking me this. People keep asking me this again and again and again. The answer is still the same. Okay, so let me say this once and for all, right? The Prince has been recorded. I have not seen the recording yet. I am told that it is good. The plan is to release the recording of the Prince in Q1 of next year. I don't have power over that because Nebula have the recording. So what Nebula want to do is they want to have a big film premiere, like red carpet, big party event to premiere the Prince, to premiere the recorded version. That was originally going to be done mid-January. Unfortunately and fortunately, I can no longer make that premiere date because for reasons I cannot say, I may have to do some filming for a thing in January that I can't. It's an acting job. I got an acting job, maybe, haven't signed the contract yet, kind of a big deal, but I might have to be filming throughout January and part of February. So we are currently searching for a date to reschedule that film premiere. It will probably be in February, but yeah, the plan is Q1 next year. That's always been the plan. It's just a toss up between like January or February at the moment, depending on my filming schedule for thing I can't talk about. So that's when the Prince is gonna come out. Miranda Katita, thank you for that super chat as well. That's really, really kind of you. I'm sorry, I can't tell you what the filming job is, but there is a plan. Anyway, I was in the middle of talking about comments. God, don't glitch out on me. Come on, baby, hold together. Chill all together. Hear me, baby, hold together. Okay, so Lady Manga said that the systems I described sounds a lot like waiting for their ADHD assessment. Yes, a lot of people said that, and also autism assessments as well. T Shampoo said it was a lot like their daughter's journey to get diagnosed with epilepsy, which yes, I imagine that's very, very difficult. I won't say what exactly, but I had some relatives of mine have a little girl who was also very sick, and it was very, very difficult for them to get a diagnosis. So yeah, that's really tough. My heart goes out to you with that one. And Maria M left a great comment. Maria M said, it's just like their experience of being an immigrant in an EU country. And they had this great phrase where they said, being a foreigner is an extra job. Which I loved, like with all the assessments and like the checking and the difficulty, it just, yeah, that was a really poignant phrase that really, really stood out to me. So thank you for that. So I'm really, really happy that so many people found, not just that the experiences I went through resonated with them, but also that the philosophy I was examining resonated with them and was helpful to them. Oh God, we're still glitching out. Come on, baby, hold together. I hate streaming so much. Darth Bravo says, why are you so hot? I'm not. It's just that you're looking at me in HD now for the first time. Because after 10 years of being a YouTuber, I finally got an HD webcam. I'm going to text Finster later and be like, how do you make camera work? But yeah. Somebody says you need a better GPU. I don't know what that is. I'm in front of the camera, not behind it. I can't do this stuff, man. It's fine. I'm a glitchy girl. I'm a glitch girl. Thank you so much for that super chat, Jamie Does Maths. Bawled my eyes out when I saw the Prince live. Aw, thank you. That's really lovely. Yeah. So, still in the realm of positive feedback. Natasha Devon, who is an LBC radio DJ here in England, shared the video on Twitter, which was kind of amazing. I've met Natasha before. She's super lovely, and I was like really honoured that she shared the video. Also, I promised her ages ago I would read her novel, and I'm taking ages over it. So I have to go on a flight soon, and also throughout January I might have a little bit of sitting around on set, so I might take her novel with me and try and finish it. So I'm really sorry I haven't finished it, Natasha. Thank you, Angela Flyman, for that super chat. That's really kind. Oh, there's another one. Oh god. Oh, thank you so much, Amy Roberts, who said I love the Prince and voted for it in the awards. Yeah, so I found out the other day that the Prince has been nominated for 3 Broadway World Awards, which is kind of incredible. So the 3 awards we've been nominated for are Best Supporting Actor, both Mary and Tiana got nominated for Best Supporting Actor. I've been nominated for Best Lead Actor in a New Play, which is incredible. I'm up against some real A-list talent like Helen Hunt and Amy Adams, which is... and also the Prince has been nominated for Best New Play, which is astonishing. If you haven't already seen this news on my Twitter, the Broadway World Awards are decided by public vote. And so if you want to vote for us, that would be kind of incredible. You go and check out my Twitter and you'll see the way that you can do it. Please do, because like, if we win the award, especially if we win like Best New Play and if we win any of them, then that gives us a really good, strong place to be able to go to investors and say, hey, like this play, we want to do this play again somewhere else, or we want to do it bigger. We won these awards. We got like X amount of profit. It just puts us in a good position. And also, I'm not gonna lie, like it would be a really good it would be a really good line on my CV, basically. So like the last year's winner of the Best Lead Actor Broadway World Award was James McAvoy. So that's the kind of level that we're at. Like it is, and it's like, it's an honor just to be nominated. It genuinely is. But also to win would be sweet as hell. So yeah, we shall see. Oh, thank you so much, Jasmine Sood, for that super chat. That's really kind of you. Yeah, it's some big league stuff. So if you would like to vote for me, then you can go and fill out the form. It's linked on my Twitter. And also, don't forget, they will send you an email afterwards with a confirmation link. You have to click that link, otherwise your vote will not count. So yeah, that's the awards. Oh, so we were still speaking about positive feedback from the video, as well as Natasha Devon sharing it. I I also got an email from an old friend, someone I've not spoken to in a while, a fellow YouTube creator who I've not seen since VidCon, very briefly, and yeah, somebody I haven't spoken to in a little while, but who emailed me to say how much she liked the video and you know, just to say congratulations, which was, I was like, oh wow, didn't expect to hear from this person, so that was really nice. So yeah, so thanks Lindsay, that was kind of you. Silvano Alva, thank you for that super chat as well. Traveled from Oslo to watch the Prince. Oh my gosh, thank you. That's really, really kind. So yeah, just positive feedback. The positive feedback from other creators, not just Lindsay, but also like Sean got in touch to say, oh, well, Sean was in it obviously, but Sean really liked it, and there were a bunch of other creators got in touch to say they liked it too. Thank you, Crit Fact, for that super chat. Oh, thank you for putting the link in chat, Claire. That's kind of you. By the way, Prince fans, this is the same lip gloss that I was wearing in the final scene of the Prince, so that's quite nice. Little Prince ref for you. What else? Oh yes, this comment I really, really loved. Stand by. I will try and show it to you. Hold on. Okay, this comment is from AKA Gay, and they are. I'm using the cowards they here. I'm using the cowards they, but maybe she her. I don't know. But I will use the cowards they, and I apologize if that's wrong. AKA Gay is a detransitioner from the United States, 19 years old, identified as a trans man for a while, and has now detransitioned. And they, cowards they, left this wonderful comment where they said, I totally agree, like, we're on the same side. People use detransitioners as a kind of gotcha against trans healthcare. But they say, you know, a system that gives power to the patients is the best way to go. And I just wanted to highlight this. I'm really glad you left this comment, AKA Gay. Give me 1 second to just prune the chat here. Hide user on this channel forever. Bye bye. Bye bye bye. So yeah, I'm really glad you left this comment, AKA Gay. Like, I confess, in the third draft of the script, there was a small section about detransitioners that wasn't very good. It was basically just me saying, oh, there was like a tiny statistical number of people who detransition, and the implication was that we don't need to care. It was actually Dr. Ruth Pierce, who I cited in the video, who is also a paid script consultant, who pointed out in her notes to the third draft that actually we can be on the same side, and that there was a better rewrite of that section available to me. So I can't take the credit for that section. Or, well, I did write it, but, you know, Ruth gave that really important note. So I just wanted to say thank you, AKA Gay, for leaving that, because that means that bit of the script got to where it needed to be. And I was really like, I really wanted to get that bit right. So thank you. That was really kind of you. Yeah, I was really happy about that. I was like, yeah, good job, Abby. Stivio Hutu left this comment. It was really, really sweet of them. I got quite a lot of comments like this, actually. If you can't read it, it said, privileged white straight male hair, and honestly you really struck a chord with me and changed my view on the whole trans debate. Well done. I got quite a few comments like that, actually, and it meant a lot to me to get those, because I worked quite hard on this video, in particular on the tone of it. You probably saw, if you've seen it, like, I struggled to get a compassionate tone and a reasonable tone, but also I made that struggle like part of the video and the meta video and the story of it. So I was quite pleased with how it all came together. Speaking of artistic decisions, Chris Bello said, I like how the camera shakes at some point. It's like the subject angers Abby so much that it rattles the camera. So I will try and show you that now. Hold on to your butts. So you might remember that in these sections the camera is locked off, right? But in these sections, the camera is actually being handheld by the camera operator. You can kind of see it shaking around a little bit So that was a deliberate artistic decision. I wanted to have these sections be literally untethered. I wanted to have them be sort of emotionally less stable, literally less stable as well. Cinematically, that was like a deliberate choice. Whereas when we're in these sections, when I'm like, you know, explaining things, this is like me, like very grounded, giving you like thoughts, giving you like concrete solutions, talking about like systems analysis. These are deliberately locked off and more stable. So thank you very much for that super chat. What does that say? Scoustum. Welsh trans patients under NHS England have a unique difficulty in that they have a lack of appointments but can't go back to Wales. That's annoying. I'm really sorry. So yeah, that was the handheld camera stuff was a deliberate choice, and I'm really glad that sort of stood out to people and that people noticed. Cinema, kine, film. Catty in the chat says those victory rolls. Yeah, so the makeup on this one was once again done by Nikki Buglowitz, who's my usual go-to makeup artist. Nikki is phenomenally talented. She did the hair and the makeup. Oh, looking very serious there. She did the hair and the makeup. I designed the looks, and Nikki implements them. And also, in particular, this time, so the coat. Ooh, strange expression. The coat that I'm wearing in this scene was I wanted it to be all cut up. So this look is like the personification of the NHS, right? It's like beautiful but destroyed by cuts, like literally by cuts. So Brian, the stylist, got this like lovely leather white doctor's coat and then slashed it up. And Nikki gave me this like beautiful makeup look, which was based on like a TikTok nurse. Like TikTok nurses all have like amazing overdrawed lips, like very glam. And then we were in the chair and I was like, it's good. And then I was like, what if there was a cut down my face? And Nikki just like did it in like 5 minutes. I'm like, beautiful. Yeah, it was good. Thank you, vaguely interesting. I do my best, you know. Getting better at makeup, you know. Getting better. I'm also just learning like what looks good on my face and like how to do it. So makeup tutorial time. I don't know if you can see, I used like a little bit of masking tape at the corner here to like when I was doing my eyeshadow, just to get a sharp line on there. And I also learned from a friend of mine recently who like usually only does eyeliner, and she's gorgeous and she just has like cat eye eyeliner, and it like really brings her face out. So I was like, I should do more eyeliner. I kind of went off eyeliner for a bit because I was like, it's fiddly, and also I have very long eyelashes. Just naturally. These aren't my real eyelashes, but the ones that are real are just coincidentally quite long. So I find eyeliner quite difficult. But I figured out how to do it more easily. So, and I I figured out how to divide my eye into thirds to do eyeshadow. So you do the outer third is like the darker one, and then you do like a light sort of metallic in the middle and on the inner corner. It's fun. Beautiful. Thank you, Claire, for being very quick on the mods. Fastest mod in the West. What other feedback did we have? What window am I in? What's going on? What year is it? Where am I? Where is my notes? Where are my notes? Where are my notes? Oh, there they are. Okay. Okay, so that was all the positive feedback. Now I want to talk a little bit about a section that I've called unacceptable criticism. So, I was disappointed, but not entirely surprised that there were so many commenters who said that transgender children should not be allowed to transition. Thank you very much for that super chat, Amina. Yeah. I was disappointed that there were so many people who said that trans children shouldn't be allowed to transition. I would hope that if those people ever met a trans child or ever met the parents of trans children, or if they read, as I have read, emails and letters from parents of trans children who have died because they were denied medical care, I hope that those people's hearts would soften. I think part of the problem here is I think a lot of cis people don't realize that they're cis. I think, perhaps even on an unconscious level, I think a lot of cis people in Britain, at least, still think that they are normal and trans people are kind of deviant, and that's not what it is. It's that we're trans and they're cis, and so I think they still think that all children are cis or normal by default. And so what they imagine is a cis child going through medical transition, but of course that isn't what happens. It's trans children who do that. And in my opinion, trans children have every right to control their bodies just as much as every human does, you know. There were also some people who said, oh, there's like, well, you know, I'm not objection to it, but there's so many kids who are doing it now. Something I just want to invite people to consider is that trans people are estimated to be between 1 and 3% of the population. Now, that obviously holds true of trans children too, which means that in Britain alone, there must be tens of thousands of transgender children. The number of children who actually do medically transition in this country is staggeringly low. We're talking like triple digits, if that, every year. Or every few years, right? Therefore, it's an unavoidable conclusion that most transgender children in this country do not access the healthcare that they need. That's kind of an unavoidable conclusion of the statistics, and that is obviously unacceptable, I'm afraid. So even if you think, oh, there's like loads of kids transitioning, it's like, actually, we would expect there to be many, many more. And the fact that there aren't more is bad. Because it means that trans kids aren't getting the care they need. So I was disappointed to see that so many cis people haven't yet realised that they're cis, but we'll get there, I hope. There were also a few people who said that transition should not be covered on the NHS. To those people I say, too bad, it is. That's been the settled law of the land since 1999, which is almost as long as I've been alive. And even before then it was happening anyway. Yeah, we do in fact have a right to medical transition. If you don't like it, then I invite you to go into the woods and dig a small hole and bury your head so that you don't have to confront the real world anymore. Sorry. There were also some people who said that there was one person who said this, that people with other conditions should get treatment first. On a practical level, that is like completely clueless as to how the structure of the NHS actually works, because that's like it's not like the NHS just gets one blob of funding and then decides what to happen. It's like funding goes to different departments. So practically speaking, that comment can just be dismissed because you don't understand how the system works. Morally speaking, even if it did work that way, what that person is demanding is that trans people die before cis people. To which, like, because we are trans. To which my question is, why? Why should we have to do that? Like, even on its face, it's just like a demand for cis supremacy. So I'm afraid I don't agree. And that is all the unacceptable criticism that the video got. There was some constructive criticism too. Jesus. Diana America Rivero. Investment ×5. Diana, every stream I do, you're in here like this. I mean, thank you. Gosh. Diana, thank you. Are you, I know I say this every time, but are you sure? Because that's an awful lot of money, and every stream I do, you're in here like this. Just as that's, I'm really grateful. I just want to make sure that you've got enough for you first, okay? Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, as long as you've got enough for you, that's all right. Thank you. Wow. Investment. Wow. And thank you also to Mima82 for that super chat as well. Wow. Diana, you're amazing. Sophia Nachtigal, I just want to warn you here that I have a firm stance against transphobia on this channel, like zero tolerance. What you've just done is you've just argued that children should not be allowed to have medical care. Trans children should not be allowed to have medical care, and I'm afraid that is a transphobic position. So, au revoir. Bye-bye. Thank you very much, Phoebe J. Rose. I'm sorry to have to take a hard line on that, but sorry, trans children do have every right to medical treatment and to control their own bodies the same way that cis children do. It is simply out of step with medical science and just morally abhorrent to say that trans children should not be able to do that. It's also just completely out of step with the law. So let me engage with that viewpoint seriously. The other day, Keir Starmer said or made some comments that might suggest that he supports removing Gillick competence from transgender children. Now, in the UK, it is legal for a child to have an abortion without their parents' consent. Now, a lot of people go, "What? That's unbelievable. That's like, what? Why would a child need to have an abortion without a parent's consent? That's horrible. We shouldn't have that." The reason that law is there is because it is a sad fact that not all children have loving parents. And sometimes even the parents are responsible for the child being pregnant. And if a 13-year-old girl goes into a doctor's office and says, "My daddy made me pregnant, I need an abortion," if the doctor says, "Hey, I need to actually ask your dad's permission before I can do this," there is a non-zero chance that that girl will end up dead. It is a sad but true fact of the world that not all parents love their kids. So that is why the British law reflects the idea that children do have a right to control what happens to their bodies. Sometimes it's abortion. Sometimes parents will say, "We don't want our child to have a blood transfusion for religious reasons." And the child will say, "I want a blood transfusion, I want to live." And the doctors will say, "This child needs a blood transfusion to live." In those situations, the law takes the side of the child. The law respects the right for children to choose what happens to their own bodies, and there are tests in place, which we call Gillick competence, to assess a child's ability to consent to those kinds of medical procedures. And I'm sorry, but I just don't think you can logically draw a distinction between things like abortions and blood transfusions and medical transition. I don't think you can say, "Oh yeah, children should be able to consent to abortions and like blood transfusions, and they aren't the property of their parents, except for trans kids." I'm sorry, that's just an arbitrary inconsistency. If children have the right to decide what happens to them medically in cases like that, then they must also have the right to decide what happens to them when they're trans. And that's that. That's what it is. That's what it is. Mic drop. Boom. Jason Atkinson, I don't have Discord because Discord sucks, and I know Finn was complaining because he was texting me about it. Thank you, Karina Freeman, for that super chat. I don't know what ICD-11 is. Okay, we got really serious there for a second. So let's go into some constructive criticism from the video, okay? Okay, hold on to your butts. We're gonna try and change it again. God. Greg Shea said they're complicit, expose them. He's talking about the NHS administrators I mentioned in the video, so you might remember I gave them all pseudonyms from Joseph Heller's novel Catch-22, like Colonel Cathcart, Major Major, and so on. Gabriel Lopez, what you're talking about there is having access to puberty blockers. 9 would be quite young for puberty blockers, unless it's like a child with precocious puberty, in which case, yeah. So the answer is, what you're really asking there is, should children have access to puberty blockers? Should trans children have access to puberty blockers? Which, yes, they should, because cis children do. So, yeah. No, I do not have a public Discord. I destroyed it because Discord sucks. Greg Shea, getting back on topic. Greg Shea said I should have named the NHS administrators. The reason well, there were lots of reasons I didn't do this. Partly because I made a promise when I started Philosophy Tube that I would not use it to single anyone out and make them feel bad. I was never going to be like, "John Smith, you suck." I do believe that the administrators I named need to be held publicly accountable for what they've done, and even for the lives that have been lost as a result of their decisions. However, there is a big difference between being held accountable to a public board of inquiry and being held accountable to a social media mob. Like, I have an audience of over 1 million. If only 1% of my audience decided to send an abusive email to Colonel Cathcart, that's 10,000 emails. So with great platform comes great responsibility, and I made the decision I'm not going to expose these people to an unaccountable mob. When they are held accountable, and it is when, I hope that it will be to a trans-led board of public inquiry, and not to the mob. That's just, I just couldn't do that. Compassion. It's got to be about compassion from me. That's the Philosophy Tube way. Thank you very much, Chris DJNA, for that super chat. And thank you very much to Ben Shapiro, the real Ben Shapiro, looking 10 out of 10. Gorge, ooh woo. Thanks, Ben. Thanks so much, Ben. That's really kind of you. I know you're a big fan of the show. Oh, what's going on here? There we go. I've got people texting me. Hello to the people texting me. What else was I saying? Would be good to know if Cathcart has seen your video, said someone in the chat. He might have done. I don't know. Some people said that I could have gone further in the final section. So let me show that to you now. So you remember this final section where I talked about the concept of gender dysphoria. I talked about the concept of gender dysphoria. Thank you very much, Stephen Chalinsky. No, we talked about that earlier in the stream. It's not. Q1 next year, baby. Yeah, so some people said I could have gone further here and talked about how the idea of mental illness itself could be interpreted as a form of control. So I said that gender dysphoria, in quotes, is kind of a conceptual form of control, and that I don't really agree with the concept. I've got to say, by the way, I was really worried that I was going to get mega cancelled for saying that. I was like, oh god, so many trans people are going to like really, really hate this. But actually, I just got loads and loads of messages, people being like, thank God somebody said it, I agree. Like, whew, that's my one and only foray into trans discourse, and I escaped more or less unscathed. There were a couple of people who were like, this is the worst thing ever. And I was like, well, overwhelmingly it was positive. But yeah, some people said I could have gone. I said I welcome what Abigail has said, but I call on her to go further. And said I should have applied the same criticism to the concept of mental illness generally. Fair enough. Like, I could have done that. I think the video probably would have been a bit long and like a bit kind of badly paced if I had done that. But I'm certainly not opposed to people taking that idea and like running with it. So here's some more constructive criticism. This comment was from Joe, and a few people left similar comments. They said, remember kids, socialized healthcare is great. So yeah, a few people said that this video shows that publicly funded healthcare is bad. I think just from like an argumentative structure point of view, I don't think the video does show that. In fact, I think I go out of my way to demonstrate that the problems are not problems of funding or really origin of funding. Certainly there is like amount of funding problems, but I think overwhelmingly when it comes to trans healthcare, the problem is bad system design. So I know that there were some people who wanted to use this video to say, oh yeah, you know, NHS is bad, like we shouldn't have a public healthcare system in the US, and yeah, I don't think the video does actually show that. I think it's maybe a bit of a retch, bit of a retch. I tried to say reach and stretch at the same time. It's a bit of a retch. You're stretching and you're reaching and you're retching. And Barna Nee said, oh, I love this comment. I knew people were going to comment this. I knew it. Barna Nee says, if transition isn't a medical problem, then why should it be eligible for free treatment on the NHS? Here's my answer. Because it would be good. Because it would make people happy. No, for real. Do you know there is actually, and I avoided this comparison in the video because I knew people would, I knew that I'd get like super duper cancelled for it. Thank you very much to, before I get into it, thank you very much to Celibotomy and to Hey Non-Anonymous for those super chats. So there is in fact a condition you may have heard of called pregnancy. Pregnancy is not a disease, but if you want your pregnancy to come to a happy conclusion, whether that's a termination or giving birth, you will often, not always, but often, need some medical intervention. So too with transition. Not always. People don't always need medical help to transition. Not everyone does. Not everyone can. But it is not an illness, but it does require some, often, medical help to go smoothly and come to a happy conclusion, whether that conclusion is transitioning or even detransitioning. So there's your answer. Your answer is that we already have a model for things that aren't diseases that are treated on the NHS for free, and that's pregnancy. My pre-theoretical supposition is that pregnancy, well, we make an exception for pregnancy because that's natural. That happens all the time. So is being trans. There you go. Boom! QED! QED! That's all I gotta say about that. And, oh, here we go. This one was great. Zara's stuff said that cis women who want hysterectomies or even like medical treatment for menopause or endometriosis are often denied the care that they need by their GPs. They're blocked, or they're given like run around the houses or stuff like that. Yes, you're absolutely right. That does happen. And it shouldn't happen. And I even mentioned that in the video. And that is consistent with noting that trans people have to deal with both obstructionist medical staff, the way that cis women seeking things like hysterectomies or endometriosis treatment do, and a fundamentally discriminatory systemic design. Truly, a system that is designed to maximize the bodily autonomy of patients would help all of us. So you are right. I'm not going to say no. I'm going to say yes and. Okay. Okie dokie. That was all the feedback that I wanted to talk about. Before we go any further, I've got a few more things to talk about, but let's hang out. Let's take 5 minutes to decompress. We've been going 50 minutes. Let's just take a moment to chill. Enjoy the music. Thank you very much, Karina Freeman, for that super chat. And how are you doing in the chat? How are we all doing? Got a lot of dating app bots tonight. Weird. Hide user on this channel. Bye bye. Bye 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 bye. Getting a lot of spam on the channel lately. Not sure what that's all about. Sorry. Yeah, in general, I'm just really happy with this video. It turned out really well. It was tough. It was real tough, but it was good. It was also like, it was double length. So we had to film it over 2 days, double the cost. And also I had flu while we were filming it. I had really bad flu. So all the stuff we filmed on day one, my voice sounds really hoarse. It was tough. But yeah. I have some wine here too. I don't want to go too wild on the wine just yet because we're not past the intellectual portion of the stream. That is good wine though. Thank you for texting me. Thank you to the people texting me for saying that. Tiny Rabbit says, would you ever do a paid script consultation for a drama script? I would. I have in the past, in fact, done paid consultations for scripts. I even do paid writing these days. I do kind of do a little bit of a professional writer now. You know, I do playwriting and stuff. I, pitch TV shows. I do all kinds of stuff. Griffin T says, how did you choose the closing credits song? I thought it was really powerful. So I knew the song already, I think probably even from my Army Cadets days. And I thought the vibe went quite well. And also I found a version that didn't get claimed by copyright. So I was like, well, that's the one, isn't it? So, yeah, that was good. There's a non-intellectual portion of the stream, says I'm not gonna lie. But babes, the whole stream is non-intellectual. They do pay people to write a little bit, yeah. Oh, a few people in the chat saying you were in Army Cadets? Oh, you must be new here. Yeah, I was in Army Cadets for 5 years. I was a drill sergeant. I've been on quite a journey with my gender, I used to be tough. Used to be a tough, no nonsense drill sergeant polishing my boots. It was. Thank you very much for that super chat, Blue11. Cool screen name. Victor Munoz says, "Would you ever make a movie?" Watch this space, baby. Watch this space. I can't talk about that. It wouldn't be the first thing I want to make. But I've got a few things. I've got a few irons in the fire. I've got a few pitches I'm submitting to people. You know. Bob Ross was a drill sergeant too, apparently. Wow, really? Weird. Previous gender drill sergeant. Yeah, for real. Yeah, I was a drill sergeant for 5 years, and I was the best shot in the contingent. I was in charge of contingent discipline, and I was also one of the best shots in the contingent. I won medals for my shooting in cadets. Ben Shapiro says, if you made an episode of Black Mirror, what would it be about? I'm not going to tell you my my ideas. They're worth something now. No, I'm gonna keep them to myself, I'm afraid. But I've got some. Thank you very much, B. Ahmed. The neurodiversity movement says neurodivergent brains are a normal, desired variation in humanity. Is that how we should think about being trans? That's how I think about being trans. I think of it like being tall or having freckles. It's just the way that some people are, you know. Thank you very much, Mose Jonathan Gordon Radiant, for being on. Says it was fun seeing you on Transatlantic. Oh, thank you. What else did I have in my notes file here? Oh yeah, before we look at the fan art, I had a Patreon question. Patrons will know that if you join my Patreon at a certain level, then you get to ask me a question that I will answer on live stream. So Matthew Sirocco asks, who is your favorite philosopher and what do you think makes a good philosopher? Ooh, so I don't really have a favorite philosopher. People ask me this a lot, and it's kind of like, do you have a favorite band? I really don't, thanks Jay Devon. I really don't have a favorite band or a favorite singer because I just like individual songs. So I don't really have a favorite philosopher. I tend to go through phases. So I went through a Talia Mebetcha phase a few years ago. And I went through a Sarah Ahmed phase a while ago, which is why Sarah Ahmed appears in this video, or her work does. At the moment, I don't really have a fave. I'm deep in the research for the next episode of Philosophy Tube, which will come out, well, I was planning to come out January next year, but because of filming thing I can't talk about, may end up being more like February. But yeah, I don't really have a favorite at the moment. As for what makes a good philosopher, being able to write well really helps. Because there's a lot of philosophers who are intellectually brilliant, but they just can't write. They just can't write concisely. And, oh, more text. And also, editing philosophy is quite difficult too. Because, like, trying to figure out what an argument actually is. Yes, really, the person who just texted me that. Trying to figure out what an argument is and map it out and edit it requires a kind of philosopher's skill. Bye, Claire. Thank you so much. So I think being able to write consistently helps because being able to rely on an editor isn't always easy. Yeah. I'll see thee later, alligator. Or... what else did I have here in my notes? Good question from Matthew Sirocco though. Oh yeah, let's have a look at the fan art. So this one is from, here we go, hold on. This one is from Dangerous Business on the subreddit who posted this. It's really nice. I really love it's watercolor, I think. I love the trans flag in the background, and I love the way that you've used, like, I know that using watercolor to do shadows is difficult because I used to paint watercolor. So yeah, well done on this. I really like it. Like, fantastic work. Oh, this one from Waluigi Fuck. Waluigi Fuck is one of our, like, regular fan art contributors. Waluigi Fuck did, like, a whole comic. It's, like, really, really long. So I'll just kind of gently scroll down so you can see it here. So we have, like, pilot stuff and Ejecting up to the plane, and then there's all the admins, and then do like a power up. Thank you very much for that super chat, Jan Vettelani. Yeah, well done, Waluigi. Fuck, I really like this one. It's really, really cool. Nice. And this one is from Agatha Magpie. Hand drawn. Look at that. Look at the skill there. Look at the skill of that. Amazing work. And then lastly, this is from Asteri on the subreddit. Beautiful. That's cool. Nice work. Honestly, the Philosophy Chief fan artist is so clever. Yeah, so someone in chat says from cadet to cosmonaut to pilot. Yeah, so you might remember that in the very final shot of the video, the last words I say before we cut to credits, I said fly safe, which was a reference to the old cosmonaut videos. I actually that was an ad-lib. I said it in the moment. We did 2 takes of this shot, and just in the moment, just on the day, I just decided. I just said it. I just said fly safe, which is what I used to say at the end of the cosmonaut videos because I thought it would resonate with people, and I'm really glad I did. And quite a few people separately messaged me being like, that moment meant a lot to me, and I'm like, yeah, it was purely ad-libbed, babes. So there you go. Samuel Gardiner says, can you recommend a replacement for Baiser du Dragon? No, I can't. They stopped making it. I'm down to my last couple of sprays. I sometimes spray it on the bed when people come over. But I'm down to my last couple of sprays. I'm gonna have to find a new signature scent. I do very much enjoy Velvet by, what is it, Black Phoenix Alchemy Society? That's a nice one. But you can't like spray it, it's an oil. Did I have anything else to talk about in my notes? I don't think I did. Hey, all right. I'm gonna start closing some of these windows. Oh yeah, maybe, do you want me to talk a little bit about the bibliography? Which was enormous. Pregnancy isn't metaphysically disputed. Neither is being trans by anyone who's serious. What do you think I am, a ghost? Like, come on. Metaphysically disputed. Also, pregnancy is metaphysically disputed. Have you heard of the Catholic Church? Get out of town! Pregnancy isn't metaphysically disputed. I mean, if you really want to get into it, everything's fucking metaphysically disputed. And alright, I'm a solipsist, therefore everyone else's illness is metaphysically disputed and it's not getting fucking metaphysically disputed. Pregnancy isn't metaphysically disputed. Come on! Come on, there's like 1 billion Catholics who are like, sorry, yes it is. Get out of town, get out of town. Thank you, Anonymous, for that super chat. Ridiculous. You're metaphysically disputed. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to come down on you quite so hard about that, but you are wrong. Metaphysically disputed. Come on. Okay. So, what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. I've totally forgotten what it was. Oh yeah, the bibliography. Okay, so I knew I wanted to start when I was kind of realizing I wanted to make a video about the NHS and healthcare. I knew I wanted to start with Sarah Ahmed's book Complaint. So I did, and I got that for Christmas, and I was really looking forward to it, and I read my way through that. And that was kind of like the basis of a lot of it, and then I was obviously reading a lot of NHS reports and stuff. Let me just open up my notes file here, and it says I metaphysically disputed your mum. Yeah. Pregnancy is not metaphysically disputed. Changed my mind. Metaphysically disputed. Get out of town. So So yeah, I was reading a lot of internal NHS reports, some of which Colonel Cathcart and his cronies sent me. I'm just scrolling down here. My notes file is so big that it's taking a while to load. And you know, various papers and sort of medical journal articles were sent to me as the process went on, even like pretty late in the game actually. There was originally some stuff in the bibliography about Amazon and the structure of like making a complaint to Amazon when you work for them, but that ended up getting cut because it was just like was tough to weave in. Thank you very much, M. Marlowe, for that super chat. Here we go, bibliography. Yeah, and it was quite an eclectic mix actually of philosophical texts and like medical journal articles and so on. And also news articles about, you know, the state of the NHS and the natural birth scandal and stuff like that. I was also very acutely aware that this video was going to become a piece of content in the content ecosystem. So I knew I would have to make it in, because my worry was that I would make it, people be like, oh my god, you're so like brave or whatever, and then I'd be like, yeah, that's great, but you're not doing anything about the problem, you know. So I deliberately designed it in such a way that it would sort of resist that sort of thing, that it focuses very much on the problems, or tries to. But yeah, it was very kind of all over the place bibliography. Really, the final ingredient, the thing that was really missing, was Stafford beer. And when I read that, I was like, oh, okay, now I'm done. Now I'm done researching. Now I've got the final ingredient. So yeah, that was what happened. That was how the bibliography came together. Okie dokie. All right. Well, that's all the notes I have. I reckon probably hang out for another 20-30 minutes while I finish this wine. Just read the chat. So if you've got any questions, send them in. Let's hang out for a bit. Nicholas' last name, we talked about that earlier on in the stream. It's called The Prince. It has not been published yet. Q1 next year, baby. Q1 next year. Let me just angle this down a little bit so I can... Whoop. Sorry. That's already angled down for a second. Here we go. I'm just going to move you down a little. No. So now I can... Hey, now I can lean back. Let me change the lights up a little bit too. Now that we're in the chill back half of the stream, let me just texting on stream. You're just here like super chatting me. I'm just ignoring you. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm genuinely texting. Let me change up the lights. Here we go. People driving past my house playing loud music. Thank you so much, Third Blackbird, for that super chat. Maybe let's try a little bit of blue. No, don't like that. No. That's kind of nice. Kind of want to turn down this light a little bit because it's a little bright on my face now. We can have chill vibes for the back half of the stream. There we go. There we go. Nice. And then I'm going to change my other light. Let me turn that up a bit. Hey, there we go. Cool. Nice. Gotta stop texting. Escatonic says, did you have any thoughts about the optics of your personal opinion segment? Yeah, I was really worried about that one. I thought I was going to get in a lot of trouble, but the feedback to it was really positive, actually. So, yeah. Kate Kalugan says, do you still do all your research yourself, or do you have people to help you now? I still do it all myself. It's all me. It's all me. Oh, it was just a happy accident that I released it just before Trans Awareness Week, so that's kind of good. Thank you for that super chat, the Dr. Leviathan. who was reading Catch 22 when the video came out. That's a fun coincidence. Moya Schau says, I like how you asked people to sign up to Patreon. That was great. Oh, thank you. I'm glad. Yeah. Oh, Magritte! Thank you, Elizabeth Grant. Thank you for reminding me. God, you're so good, chat. I love you guys. Let me find the right place in the video. You might be able to notice here, if I can find the right spot. Let me find the right spot. Here we go. Here's perfect. Right. So, you might notice that this is a picture of René Magritte's painting Son of Man. And I used this painting for all the administrators I spoke to. Mute user on this channel. Yeah, so you might remember I used this painting, this famous painting, to refer to all of the administrators I spoke about. That was a deliberate choice because, so René Magritte's painting is about, well, first of all, it's surreal. It's a surrealist painting. Secondly, it's about the way that the truth is hidden by what we see. And that I felt chimed very well with Sarah Ahmed's work and with Stafford Beard's work. And also just generally the vibe of the journey that I went on through the NHS is like trying to find the truth that's hidden, trying to find who's really responsible for this. So I thought that like that particular painting just summed it up very well. The idea that like the truth is hidden and that the official story is designed to hide what's really going on. So that's why I chose it. But also the names of various paintings by René Magritte are sprinkled throughout the script. So for instance, I want to say The Collective Invention of Gender Dysphoria. Collective Invention is a painting by René Magritte. Attempting the Impossible, that's another painting by René Magritte. There's a few names of these paintings that are like hidden throughout the video, and I was surprised that nobody picked up on them. But there you go. That was what the René Magritte stuff was about. Quiet Coyote says, do you consider yourself a philosopher? No, I'm an actress who has a YouTube channel. I'm a horse. Congratulations. That was their screen name, by the way. I'm not just saying I'm a horse. Congratulations to the person whose screen name is I'm a horse. Advice, I mean, have fun. Stay safe and have fun. There you go. Yeah, I'm sad too, Nikita, that YouTube blocked community translations. That was really useful. I enjoyed that a lot. It was a useful feature to have. I'm sad that they got rid of it too. Ooh, doesn't like that. Yeah, that was a pity. But it is what it is. Oh, thank you so much, Vishwajit Mishra. Would you want to touch on complex systems sometime? Maybe. The bibliography is in the description video. There's like a full bibliography there. Also, thank you for that super chat. It's like 1,000 something. I don't know the currency, so I don't know whether you just bought me an ice cream or a house. So I don't know. Thank you very much. Either way. I'm a horse now. You, Ruben, you're a rhinoceros. Real heads, no. Elia asks, what brings you happiness? Nothing I could talk about on stream, I'm sure. Jean Vettelani asks, I've always thought of the Magritte painting as throwing stuff at the establishment in righteous anger. Yeah, I kind of got that vibe too. Thank you so much, Paka Paka, for that super chat as well. Yeah, there wasn't really a call to action I could do. I wish there was. I think it'll be a slow grind to fix this one. McLeod2692 says, I was laughing when you use your dead voice. Yeah, I decided to just kind of flex. I decided just to flex on those hoes and use my dead voice briefly for a sentence. It was good fun. The camera operator was like, ah! That was very funny. Yeah. Sky Savvy says, I normally watch your videos on 2x speed. What? I put so much effort into them. No, it's okay. It's yours. Was this episode the forbidden episode? Actually, all of section 9 was the forbidden episode. Yeah, that was it. Kate Kalugan, would you ever consider an episode on the proportionality of punishment in the American legal system? That was kind of the first episode I did after I came out, capital punishment and prison abolition. So I feel like I've already covered that one. Have you considered a companion video on how the NHS treats intersex people, says Boris E1. No, because I never do a sequel. Magus Morton Devlin says, I still love the KGB Cats and Dogs episode. Yeah, it was good fun. That was flex. Just making Dev and Alice absolutely shit their pants. It was good. Dolphin, he says, dead voice sounds like the voice a zombie would have. It is. It was. Rebecca says, how do you do the research for the videos? I read a lot. I read a lot of books, and then those books usually cite other books, and then I read those books too. And then eventually I read enough books. Actually, to be fair, if you want to know in detail how the kind of behind the scenes process of researching to filming goes, there's a documentary on Nebula about the making of Philosophy Tube, which we filmed last year. So you can go check that out if you want. Starkey Sorcher, thank you for that super chat. What do you think about people working towards working within the current system? I don't really know what you mean. Nick Ben Samer says, oh my god, was that a strike? Nice. That's fun. Have you ever watched Drag Race? I've seen a couple of episodes, here and there. Oh, I didn't get massively into it. I've seen a couple of episodes. I never sorted out. I watched it with other people, you know. I have a couple of gay friends who are like quite big into it. Yeah. Oh, the laptop. Whose machine was it? The laptop I destroyed at the start. I bought it off eBay. It's just a shell. It doesn't even power on. It was just a husk. Got it for like a tenner. How do you know which books to read? Martin Gonzalez asks. Generally speaking, once I've read them, I know whether or not I should have read them. I read really, really fast. So yeah, I just pick ones that sound interesting and sound relevant to the topic usually. Yeah. Over the years, I've gotten pretty good at following the curiosity and figuring out what I should be doing. Was it the same hammer as the other episode, says Amethyst? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I made sure to like stretch my shoulder out before I did that. I didn't want to pull something. Cat C said it must have been cathartic. Honestly, it just made me sad. Because I thought about why I was doing it and what it represented, and it just made me upset. Have you ever thought about doing a deep dive on Elon Musk? Babe, you're talking to the woman who made the video titled Elon Musk. It was the first episode of Philosophy Tube Season 2. My brother made it years ago. Yeah, I made it. Musk might end up coming up a little bit in the next video, maybe. In my early stages of researching the next one, I'm doing a lot of reading about cryptocurrency. But yeah, Musk may end up coming up, maybe. Enoch Ethereal says, I feel like you mocked gender dysphoria even though some people really do have it. Actually, my contention is that no one does. My contention is that in fact no one has gender dysphoria because it's a category error. So certainly my intent was not to mock, and I'm certainly I'm gonna say I'm sorry if you felt that way. That's not a good apology, is it? I certainly did not intend to mock, but my contention is that no one has gender dysphoria because it does not exist. I'm, if you like, a gender dysphoria error theorist. Certainly there are people who are sad because there is a gap between what they want and what they have. I myself feel that, but I do not think that that is. I do not think that that should be called gender dysphoria in a clinical setting. I hope that helps. Full Metal's Gal asks what my opinion is on the trial that's coming up. I think that's going to be in the last couple of days of November. I really don't know. We're going to find out. We shall see. Alex Spoon says, are there more videos coming up on the topic of transness? Almost certainly not. I feel like I want to do a lot about philosophy, just like straight philosophy now. And like, I enjoyed the format of this video that it's like, it's philosophy, but it's about a social issue. I might do more like that. Yeah, I'm not planning. I don't want to become a trans channel, partly because I feel that boxes me in, partly because I find it sort of a bit intellectually boring, and kind of in the main because it's been done better by other people. If you want kind of entertaining, glamorous stuff on trans issues, then there's another channel I can think of that you might want to go and watch, but it ain't mine. Danny asks, do you think that LGBT, ace, and child-free by choice people are treated badly by health agencies? Has it anything to do with assuming that being able to reproduce is the end goal of all sexual healthcare? I defer to them on that issue. I know that... well, yeah, I've outlined the reasons I think trans people are treated badly by the NHS, but I defer to child-free and ace people on their particular struggles. Scott Match, thank you for that super chat. Oh, sorry, when I said straight philosophy, I didn't mean the philosophy of like heterosexual philosophy. I meant straight down the middle philosophy. Why don't we hang out for another 5 minutes and then... I don't know what I'll do after that. Am I going to take my makeup off, have a cup of tea? I might make a phone call if if the person texting me wants to hang out for a bit. Why not? Let's chat. Let's hang out. Let me know. Let's hang out for another 5 or 10 minutes. And then maybe I'll see what I can do about this webcam before next time. So yeah, if you've got any last minute questions, put them in the chat and we'll see what we can do. Will the voice become a running gag like the dictionary joke? Probably not. I don't know. I'm not planning on. I try not to plan my running jokes out too much, you know. Critical Cupcake, not particularly, no. The further I get in my career, the less relevant being trans becomes, hopefully. So like I'm going up for acting roles now where I just play cis characters. Not all the time, but you know, it's kind of becomes less and less relevant, really. Yeah. What topic will you talk about but never will, and why? It was section 9 of this video. That was the forbidden episode. It was gonna be. But then I made it and everyone liked it and I was like, wow. Amazing. I didn't realize that. Nicholas Revel says, how do you plan out new projects and ideas? I mean, I go into this a little bit in the Philosophy Tube behind the scenes documentary, but it just feels like there's a little spirit that lives inside me that like plans what Philosophy Tube needs to be, and this is my creative stuff, and just like comes and tells me like this is what it needs to be, and I just listen to the little spirit. Rose Sarafilovich says, how did you come up with the voices you did in the Leech audiobook? So yeah, if you didn't know, I did the audiobook recently of a novel called Leech, kind of queer horror novel called Leech by Hiron Ennis, which I really enjoyed. Actually, it was really, I really liked that book. I came up with the voices by just casting dream actors in my head. So I was like, oh, I want Roger Allam to play the Baron, and I want Mathieu Amalric to play Didier, and I just kind of like constructed it in my head. And Jean Reno was Priest, and I just did kind of an approximation of those actors' voices, and I had a great time with it. Actually, it was really, really fun. Yeah, it was good. I have not named my blahage. I don't know. I don't know what I should call him. So I have a chimpanzee called Albert Camus, and I have a bat named Didi, who was a gift from a friend. But I bought the Blahage for myself, and it's the first time I've ever bought a plushie for me, so I should probably let someone else name it. Maybe I'll let the next person who shares my bed can name the Blahage. Yeah. How did you choose this title for the video? Said Burst. I made a list of the most clickbait possible titles I could possibly do, and then I kind of arrange them by order of clickbaitness, and then I pick the one that's like 2/3 of the way along. That's what I do. And if it doesn't do well, then I like move up to the next one. And that's kind of my new process for choosing titles for videos. I also ran potential titles by a group of American creators that I chat to, and originally the title was going to have NHS in it, none of them knew what the NHS was, so I knew I needed to say British healthcare system, not NHS. So, Guacamole says, what is Leech about? It's a queer horror story about a doctor who is called to a creepy mansion to investigate a murder, and I won't spoil anything else. But you should listen to it. It's really good. I think Hiram just did a fantastic job writing it. It's very, very cool. What was the most clickbait title? I don't know. Let me see if I can get up that document. It's gonna take ages to load, but yeah, because the document's so big. But let me have a look here. So the least one I had was trans healthcare and analysis. And then there was, one of them was the NHS is in crisis and here's why, which I asked Harry if I could use that, and he said yes. Yeah, that was kind of him to let me do that. But in the end, I didn't do it. The others were just kind of like remixes of the one I actually event with. So it was like the crisis in British healthcare : I emailed my doctor 133 times. And then I was contemplating having like me in the thumbnail, like, and then like, I emailed my doctor 133 times. But like, yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Shield Elapid, for that super chat. Would you ever do an episode on the philosophy of mathematics? Maybe. That could be fun. I don't know. I don't tend to plan them out very far in advance. I think videos that I might want to do next year, I know I want to do one on crypto and effective altruism. I want to do one on artificial intelligence and the future of creativity and like what the definition of creativity is. And I want to do one on assisted dying, which I think would be really tough. And there's like a lot of cool disability philosophy I can engage with there. So those are three that I know I want to do next year. Yeah, we'll see. It also depends on things like, you know, filming commitments. A lot of January, I might be filming. So I can't. Yeah, it depends. I've only managed to make. We haven't done the end of year final stream. I'll do one more live stream, probably early December, and I'll talk about the whole year of Philosophy Tubes. But as a little preview, I think. Yeah, so those are three topics I want to tackle next year. Maybe some others. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, I think it's probably time for me to go and chill out. Put my feet up. Have a cup of tea. Maybe call a friend. So I will say good night. Thank you for putting up with the glitches. I'll try and get them fixed for next time. When will you know 100% on your January-February schedule? That's critical cupcake. Good question. Whenever send me the contract and I sign it. We will see. We will see. They're a big production company. They do things when they do things. So thank you so much for joining me for this lovely stream. Thank you, especially if it was your first time. Thank you for being patient with the technical side of things. Maybe we just make that a running joke that the technical stuff is always messed up. But mwah, thank you for joining me, and I will see you probably pretty soon. I'll probably do another stream in the next few weeks before. So I usually take December off, so I might do a stream early December just to kind of like this is the year in Philosophy Tube. Like, this is what the year was. This is what it's going to be, because next year will be the 10th anniversary of Philosophy Tube. So, mwah. Good night, everybody.